more time. Can you hear me? Hello? You are dry. I'm not dry. I'm not dry. We're just testing something out. So, how's everyone? Weird day, huh? Just before opening bell, we had a bond buyback, 2 billion bond buyback. If you have been in the market, you saw that we reached 5.30 yesterday, 5.34 on the 30-year yields. So the Treasury Department stepped up today, and they said we're gonna buy the bond backs, because if they buy the bond backs, the market's gonna settle a little bit, and that's why we went up. We're at the moment $21 up. However, the net gex is negative. That push to the upside was just a false move. If we search, let me delete this. If we search, where I'm cutting that SPY, for example, SPY is at 769.30. We're $1.85 up from yesterday's close. We're green at the moment, but I don't think we're gonna be green for the rest of the day. Maybe we might see a push to the upside again to the 720s. But let's just see the GEX how it's doing right now. Is that it's 9:49 a.m. We're 10 minutes before 10 a.m. So GEX hasn't settled in yet. However, you can see that we're currently moving strongly. Let's see the GEX, the VIX. The VIX is at 15.48 on TradingView. You can also see it here on the platform. If you search VIX and you have the real-time data, you see that VIX is at 15.52 at the moment. The price is pretty fixed. We have the put wall on the magnet at 15.5 and the call wall at 16. XPX is moving at the moment. We're dropping. We were just at 711 and right now at 705. So I think we're having a very aggressive move at the moment. We saw 726 was the highest today, but we're moving aggressively to the downside. So let's see remove all this that I have. Let's see flow fee. What do we have here? Let me set up my filters real quick. Do you guys saw Moderna? Someone sent it. Moderna is 107% to the upside. $67 up. $67 up. 108%. Wow. For example, these calls, let me see. These calls were at $4 yesterday, and today are at 43. They just 10x the calls, the 105 calls. 10x. That is just outstanding. I didn't see any unusual movement. Let's see if if there was anything yesterday, but I didn't see anything yesterday that caught my attention on Moderna. You see, there wasn't any big flow. They traded the 66 at 0.62 cents. Wow. Are they still in on this ones? So if you traded Moderna at 66 call yesterday, 62 cents, right now they're sitting at $58. So that's basically $62 to 5,800. Yeah, there could be the previous days, but that's just outstanding. Moderna is just move it move a lot. If you're a Moderna holder, I think you're on a good place. Yeah, there wasn't any big flow. There was just selling on these ones. So let's not stick to that. Let's see if we see anything else. 706 the XPX. We're still waiting for that. Let's resume. Walmart puts. They're selling the puts. Oh, this is a spread. Yeah. Yeah, this is a spread. How do I know this is spread? Same hour, and same size. So this is a bearish vertical spread because it's on puts. And if they're selling the big one and they're buying the one below, you see 125, they're selling that and they're buying the 119. That's a bearish vertical spread. There hasn't been anything else at the moment. Wow, these Wednesdays have been kind of slow. Puts on the 733, $3.6 million to 2.96. They're at 316 now. Not anything fancy, to be honest. XPX is making a push here. It's making a push 712. We have the magnet and the coil wall at 7,725, but we're in a pretty weird position because we have a negative GEX. So it could amplify the move either way. If we go to the magnet with a negative GEX, we can go fast. That's why we just jumped $6 on just a 1 minute candle. So you have to be really careful here. Really careful.
At the same time, it's the call wall, so it's the resistance.
Yeah, we have the coil wall and the magnet in the same place, so it's gonna be a strong resistance.
So for short, that could be like a good entry.
Maybe. Do you guys saw Marvel? Marvel jumped 7.5% today on some Google News. The Google News came different way today. We were expecting another kind of news for Google, but it pumped out Marvel, not Google. Apple. Do I see anything in Apple today? 310 calls. No, not very much on that one. Apple,
It's $5 up.
yeah, it's 1.7% up. Yeah, but not very much volume on those calls. But this is pretty weird. I don't know why I only have that. I have this kind of transactions. Is this like a
We're going low. That's a direct resistance.
It's kind of weird. I don't know why this isn't loading. Maybe we have a cancel order. We have a cancel order or something. I really don't know what's happening here. But it is an intermarket sweep order. This is kind of pretty strong. Look at the time. 3:10 September 11. Let's keep an eye out on XPX. Has been pumping. Look, I have to refresh because it's pumping on the 1 minute candles. So, because remember, we have a negative GEX. We have a negative GEX, and it's moving The movement is being amplified. The call wall and the magnets at 725. 725. We're right now at 720, I think so. Yeah, 721. So it's moving pretty fast.
También agresivo. Like, bajo pass.
AstraZeneca had this trade. Let me see. How much are these contracts worth right now? 560. So they're a little bit higher of what they paid. AstraZeneca. Yeah, I think I saw this contract. I have in my other account. It was a pretty good trade because 7.1 million. AstraZeneca doesn't have that many premiums, but the delta has went way higher, $12 per contract. So that's a really good sign. We still have 58 days, and we're only $6 out of the money on this contract. I think Biopharma is planning something because we have seen weird moves either on premium or different stocks. Wow. Wow, we're moving really, really weirdly here.
También estamos como un medio pasa eso.
What?
Cuando estamos así bien medio, tienden a pasar esas cosas de aquí arriba.
Yeah, we're in a range.
But in range, it's good to trade it though.
Yeah, but the thing about this range is that you have to be really careful because the NetGex is so close. So if we flip it here on the gamma flip, for those that are new with the GEX trading, gamma flip is the zero zone. So basically, if you're below the gamma flip, you have negative GEX. If you're above the gamma flip, you have positive GEX. Positive doesn't mean we're gonna go up. Negative doesn't mean we're gonna go down. Positive is more stable prices because market makers have to sell rallies and buy dips. On a negative GEX, they have to if we are dipping, they have to sell the dip, and if we're rallying, they have to buy the rally. So it will amplify the move. It's gasoline to your fire pit. So we will have to give it, let's see, 5 more minutes to see where we go from here. Yeah, I still maintain the Google position. I bought the right contract on that. Well, you could have bought it in a longer time frame, but it hasn't dropped very much. We're still there.
Still holding
330 put, they're entering here, but I'm gonna still hold that Google contract. I haven't bought any more contract because that's more of a swing long-term trade, maybe 2-3 weeks. We have to wait for the market how it will settle. I will tell in the Discord when I will buy again if I see another buying opportunity on Discord. Right at the moment, we're right in the middle, so I don't see if it's gonna drop to the 334, 33 area. Then I could buy more. But if we can go way higher from here, way lower from here. So just maintaining the position on one contract. We have time. It's for November. We are still in the money, $9, so we don't have to worry about that. Google, when it moves, it will move. But it's a pretty stable stock. It's like the Amazon trade.
You know what I don't like? Like they selling premium really in the money.
On what?
3,000 calls, they like selling premium on the 500 too. I mean, it's only 2x.
We haven't broke that call one. 7717. 27 buying power available.
Salieron de la posición. La posición de ayer salieron bien en el momento.
$20.17. I still haven't seen any trade worth taking here, to be honest.
Creo que agua de esta área no está como que subida, ya está bien para empezar.
Whoa, I didn't see this earlier. They sold the QQQ September 18. And this is an opening trade. This is a sell to open. Oh, I didn't see that. They're selling to open $6.6 million on the QQQ on the monthly 717 column. Coincidentally, we were at the money at that time. So they're up already because they sold at 17.83 and we're at 16.67. So they're at the money right now. Well, yeah, they're at the money, but they're making money. They're already making almost $1. They're getting out of the Intel contracts here. Yesterday we saw a SPY put. Yesterday we saw a SPY put. Where is it? They got out of the September 800 call. For those that don't know, it looks like they got out a couple 82,000 contracts, but the open interest barely moved, so they're still in. They're still in on those contracts. We saw a lot of volume, but they're still in, which is weird, but they're still in. However, we saw, let me search SPY here. This is just yesterday's flow. We saw these 755 puts being open. We saw $10 million and $2 million. So we saw around 18,000 contracts being open, and we saw that they summed up to the open interest. The 755 puts. If you guys have been following me on the Discord or whatever, I'm not a pretty huge short guy. I don't like to short the market. I don't believe in shorting the market, but there has been signals lately, to be honest. We have seen the SMH one. Let me verify if they're still in. They're still in. How much upside are they? They pay like 6,000 something, 6,400, and the contract is at $85. They're still in on those contracts. So what I'm doing here, I'm just making my mind to see, because we still have the Caldwell and the magnet. I'm not gonna do 0DT this time. I did it last live, and 0DT with this particular price action is pretty bad because the premiums are gonna die. So this is more of a DTE to DTE. If we find the right combination to trade it. We saw the 723 being the high in the last couple minutes, 722.76. It didn't reach the 7,725. So we're waiting to see if this goes up to 7,720, that area, to see if there's a position to scalp it short side, buying some puts. The GEX still hasn't flipped. It's still below the gamma flip, and it's 5.1 billion. It has been, I think the lowest that it has been like $1.8 billion. But remember, this is a waiting game. You don't trade to trade. You don't trade just to trade something. You have to wait for the positions to arrive, your opportunities.
Vendieron los 7620 igual, multiple otra vez prima, y de morning.
Very interesting because for Friday we have the $9 million premium. The premium not positive net gex.
$600,000.
Market's not it's not moving. Horrible price action.
We start between the
It's gonna be stuck because
720. Look at the bars too.
look at the bars. Yeah, we have this huge bar here and this huge bar at 720.
750 is like start positive gaps.
Well, look at that. The call will just move. The call will just move. It's at 7,750.
So this is my double.
What I did here, I just placed 0 DTE on expiry, premium 100,000 XPX. So I'm watching how it moves. If we see any trade entering here, but I haven't seen anything big. There hasn't been anything big on either expiration. Well, on 0 DTE. If we really delete the 0 DTE, you will see all kinds of multi-legs.
Acaban de meter 1000 contratos a los 50. Todo para multileg. Full complex. Getting zero.
So it's still a waiting game. 10-10. That's why we started the live a little bit. 9:45. The Gex is gonna be in a couple minutes. If the price range permits us. Coin is moving. I haven't seen coin today. I saw it yesterday.
Yeah. So for Bitcoin.
Yeah, coin is $7 up 5%.
Yeah, I'm using that. Como que Bitcoin.
MSTR. Yes. Well, Marvel went all the way to 243. To 243, but it's now at 230. Just well, sorry about that. I was thinking of a number and I wrote it. Went to 243 and it's now at 229. Has been dropping. Hasn't been able to withstand what's right now. The Qs are suffering. Intel is down 5%. Intel is down 5%. We have seen there's a lot of red in this. They're exiting a lot of calls today. Look at the run session date. They're exiting a lot of calls on the 55 call for December 15. I think we just had a move on XPX now. What do I think about Intel? I don't. Intel has a lot of money to the upside. But it isn't a fast mover at the moment. It wasn't what it was 3, 4 months back that it moved $10 a day. It isn't the same stock. So I think it's gonna levitate to the upside. But because of the semiconductor taking so much hits lately since June, he hasn't been able to maintain its levels above 100. Right now we're at 91. You can see hasn't been able to maintain its levels. We're 5% down. I really don't like this. They're exiting those contracts, and you can see they're exiting a whole lot of contracts. They're all calls. How do I know they're exiting? Look at the open interest. And the volume is way below the open interest. They are exiting the 120 calls. You can see there's a lot of bid scenario here, selling to close. I don't like that price movement at all.
Hacer un trato de los 25 por 725, de 14 pesos a 20 pesos.
Aggressive sell $1 million 775 put. So they're buying in the morning. But they bought 5.1 million 776. I don't like this range at all. Because here's the scenario. And I'm glad that it's happening on a live, because lives are not just for trading but for education, so you guys can understand the platform. We have a negative GEX, we are below the gamma flip, and we have the magnet above XPX price. However, on a negative GEX, there's a lot of volatility, but we have this huge $3.9 billion red candle here on the put side, just below the magnet. So going through that magnet, we basically have a resistance that isn't shown, but we have a resistance of $4 billion at 7,720. So trading to the upside here is like playing ping pong, because you're just gonna play ping pong in this price point, 7,710, 7,725, 700 or 720.
But why did breaks all 7? Well, because the bull is 7.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for an aggressive move to lead it to either side. These contracts were at 19. They were at 19. They're at 22, and they hasn't moved much. Those are the 1 day, the 1 BTE. Here we go. Here we're moving. We're at 706. Look at that. The coin will just move down here. And now the magnet is at 720. The magnet moved down, and the coin will move down with it.
Y vendieron casi 1 millón de los 750, como que saliendo de la posición. Si es un single leg, eso es como que amplita eso saliendo, ¿verdad? in the morning. Realmente en la parte de
Let's see. We're I want to get out of this magnet area. Yeah, it's constantly moving.
el magnet a los 20, ¿no?
25. I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing anything worth taking. I just cannot believe we're gonna have another Wednesday like the last one.
Which is good though, because not every day is a trading day. I will confirm it here.
Yeah, but last Wednesday we had a horrible price action also. It hasn't been a clear setup. Let's see. I think it's gonna try to break those 720s now. Moderna surges 130% after cancer vaccine shows signs of preventing melanoma from spreading. So that's basically the news. Biopharma is preventing cancer from spreading. Well, melanoma.
That's good news.
Yeah, this is biopharmas. They just move because of trials, and
For the sector, right?
yeah, it's gonna move the sector. Let's see how Lily is doing. Wow, Lily is 5% up. It's almost at 1,300. We're rejecting here. Look at that. That's why I'm being very careful here. Kevin, does it matter that the gamma per strikes are fluctuating like that? Yeah, we're playing ping pong. That's basically one positive, one negative. So we don't have a clear setup. That's the reason I'm not doing anything at the moment, because I'm just waiting for it to break. We have one positive, one negative. So if those are walls that is gonna be moving at. We have the magnet and the coil wall at 7,725. So it's gonna try to move to that. But we have a huge $4.1 billion put wall that it isn't labeled here, but you can see it, that is happening. And you can see now it's a put wall because we're above it. So now it moved.
He can hold the price a little bit.
Yeah, let's see if it holds.
If he holds, you gotta switch gamma.
We need to switch gamma here. But do you guys understand what happened? Because we were below that huge 4.1 billion that is now 3.7 billion. That wasn't the put wall. After we switch, now that's the put wall. But you have to be very careful when we have one positive, one negative. That's a pretty good question. You have to be very careful because we're just switching around walls. It looks like bumper cars. Imagine you're playing bumper cars. But it still isn't breaking that put wall. I don't think we have enough force today. to be honest, to break it.
How much volume do we have until now?
Wow, we just went bunkers down here.
Obviamente tenemos un billón nada más, así de transacciones, un billón punto algo. Entonces, esa rejection.
What a reaction from 720 to 714 in seconds. I think that's gonna be a trade today, to be honest. Another rejection.
We keep holding it, just haciendo higher lows.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a trade.
The rejections, right?
The rejections, because we have that huge wall just in that place. Greetings. How are you? Apart from XPX, nothing else is really moving. Marvel, but gold is 3% up because of the yields went down. But everything is just less than 1%. All HIMS is 5% up. Semiconductor sector is suffering in memory. We have PE just above 200, barely above 200. Everything that went bunkers, for example, Nvidia, MU, SNDK, Bloom Energy, AMD they're all way down. But the VIX is also down, which is weird. Well, it's not weird. It's just because of the Treasury Department of the U.S. U.S. Treasury Department. How are the contracts holding? This is a 19 again. This is a 1 DTE.
Además, una transacción bien rara. 7750. Pudo traer bien de money value de 475,000. Like un floor probably 3 like complex trade.
Yeah, it's not enough.
Yeah, like we're not seeing like single legs high transactions. It's all about hedge. So they're really hedging.
Yeah, we're just horrible price action, Joshua. So trading 0 DTEs is not recommended here. If you trade at 0 DTE, the Theta is gonna eat you alive in a couple of minutes. Because we're just moving $5 up, $5 down. So it's not worth it to risk it. For example, $2,000 to gain what, $50, $100. Well, if you do it quickly, if you do it in a minute, well, it's worth it. But you have a huge risk of getting pinned. For example, this was a 930. Well, that's a $200 gain. We're at 7,711. Yeah, it's just that we're below that put wall. Yeah, I think that was the trade we missed it. When it reached 7,720. It went above a little bit here. I think that was the short. Because it's so weird. We're on a negative X and there isn't volatility. bonds haven't been pricing in. Market hasn't been pricing in bonds correctly. Today it tried to, but with this price action, I don't think it has priced in it correctly.
Like they think like actually like in the money 7720, 7720 en verdad no hay nada comparado a esto in the money. La diferencia de movimiento really stock.
Oh, let's see what is how is she doing? Yeah, but she went all the way to 178. I went back. I think that's a really good stock. That's not financial advice, but I think that's a really good stock if you want some exposure to the memory sector. SAK Hynix. Aggressive selling, the 7,950 puts, the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the tape hasn't been moving. And they're buying these ones. And they're just an aggressive buy.
Yo creo que
Let's say if he tries to reach the 720 area here. I think we might have a chance. Pretty weird scenario, so hold on. Because we might trade a rejection here, but we're on a negative gex and the price is moving upwards. So it could continue upwards. Remember, it will amplify the move either way, either upwards or downwards, to the upside or to the downside.
it's volatility.
Yeah, it's just a volatility measurement, the negative net gex. So
But you can strike the balance of it.
you know what? I'm gonna buy one just to test this out.
Actually, the balance está bien cabrón, mira, te lo puse. Punto 43 delta y punto 50 delta. Pero sí, punto 50 delta, ahora tenemos ahí punto 44 de balance como 6 puntos de delta.
I'm a sloth. You see, I could have just bought market at that price. I just bought it.
Entonces, puto. Están comprando los 725 putos. Voy a ir a buscar, pues si empieza a ver la agresividad en tu contra de esto, ¿sabes? Pero en verdad que lo sabes. Entonces, claro,
Right. Just waiting to see if we have a reaction here. I could stop these contracts at any moment. Just waiting to see if we have a reaction to the 16 set 15 area. because we have this put wall. I hasn't been able to break it at any time of the day today, just once, and it went all the way back. But this is a trade, very risky trade. I'm trying to see if we break it again, if we reverse, but this can move to the upside. We have the call wall just above us, 3.2 billion negative gex. Right now, pretty down, I think so, $135. We have the magnet and the call wall at 25, so let's see if we break that down. I enter a little bit too early. Yes. But let's see if we stay above.
Net gex de 5, negativo 5.1 bajo 2.1. Eso fue lo que pasó. Está indecisa acá arriba, está bien indecisa acá.
Yeah, I think we're on an influx point. It can go anywhere from here.
Are we going up? But it's like Nvidia is like retracing a little bit. Micron is going up. We broke the highest today. I know you break. Oh, I did. Shit. It's breaking the range. Micron.
We're testing this out to see how it works. We're at 23. Let's see if that call wall is broken. 24. Couldn't reach 24.
Tu out sería como los 77, 27, 28. Como 5.4. They're selling above the 25. They're selling the 1,730. They're selling it. That's really good for you, for your position.
I think we had the react. We just had the reaction here.
And we just need the continuation, right?
Yep. She doesn't want to stay above that 720. She doesn't want to stay above that 720 area.
Yeah, we're selling them. And it's not just one, it's like 6, 7. There's only 720 calls. And the ones they're buying one contract, 2 contracts. So it's not really like aggressive. Creo que el MMA lo está aguantando.
The what?
Y es que la volatilidad está bajando un poco.
Yeah, I think it's kind of slow, but we're at 25. Let's see if we break that 25 zone. I'm pretty intrigued to see what's gonna happen because we have a call wall on the put wall just 5 points at 10:35 a.m. I think it hasn't. It's not a normal situation.
This is my first time seeing this.
Let's see if we break that 25 with force. And that 25 is the gamma flip also. Way too low. We're negative gex 843. Hey Kevin, is the asset premium something?
I don't like that Nvidia is like switching up. I always like switching down back. Micron is like stuck in that area. 930.
You mean the asset premium on the gex just based on the institutions? Yeah, exactly. This one is just based on the algorithm we selected, and the one on the flow feed based is for every transaction. So this one is just for institutional flow tape we have here. So we broke the 26.62. We're at 27. So we have to be a couple hundreds down. I think I may exit that contract. I'm gonna hold. Well, I'm just gonna hold a couple. We're at 1037. Yeah, we're just above the magnet now. We have the coin. We're at 30. We're at 300 down. Not that much. Not that much.
But the gamma has the negative is flip right now. It's like
Yeah, but it's just 140 million.
yeah, it's like that.
Now I'm gonna be more down. Yeah, 440. So we just switch. We're just above the magnet and the put Y is below us. We're $9 to the upside here.
And the only contact of 0.50.
730. Yeah, I think I can cut. I have to cut now.
No, si está 125 tiene un texto negativo, ¿verdad? Cerrate.
Not yet. I'm $460 down.
Time is fine.
XPX.
Only one DT.
Oh, 1 DTE contract.
Kind of good on the line. And now if the volatility is starting to like fade, I don't see it like coming all the way down.
No, yeah. No. It's at 32.
I mean, I think fade Nvidia is just
Yeah, Nvidia is up, right? It's almost green.
no, it's like 0.15% to be green in the day.
I don't know why isn't this loading?
Really slowing down on the big side in the level 2 of the video. Like,
I don't know why my assets not loading. For $180 down, I think we will have. Right now we're at what, $1 billion positive? Almost $1 billion positive. But we are not moving above this price range at the moment. So That's what I was explaining. We have a negative gex, but the price was going up. So you guys can see on your own eyes what happened if you short with a negative gex, price moving up. I was hoping for a rejection on the put wall, but we didn't have it. So
We're slowing down here.
we're slowing down now because we have a positive gex. We're at 729.
The gamma 3 is still the same.
Now we're negative gamma. Well, I still haven't gone out.
The gamma 3 just switched to 731, 710. Oh my God.
Gamma tested positive, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, there's no velocity and there's no way to trade this. It's gonna get stuck here. And the gamma flip is just above us now. It moved to the upside, that gamma.
Aquí ya están jugando con las múltiples. They just do it next to it. They're not
Yeah, they're not trading XPX either direction here. Well, we're at 29.50. I don't know. You guys are not seeing my bad. Has there been like any trade worth looking at? I don't think so. No trade to look at today. Merc in the money. I don't like that. I don't like it. Why is this moving? I'm intrigued about these 330 puts. $6.2 million on these 330 puts on Google. That's not something I want to see, but the open interest is way higher than the volume. So that's a little bit comforting. So I'm gonna see tomorrow if this adds to the Google, because I don't like to see puts on my open position. Market steady around here. My contract's dying little by little because of the theta. But we have one DTE, so it's not the same as the 0 DTE. The magnet is just below us. Let's see how this plays out. I'm gonna wait 5 more minutes and then I'm gonna pretty slow day. These weeks, that's why I don't like gaps ups that aggressive. 2 weeks back, we just have a really good gap up on XPX and SPY. But then after that, volume has died. There hasn't been any volume on the market. So day trading has been so consistently bad. Like there's only like 1 or 2 moves at the day. So I think that's it for today. If I see anything else, I will tell you where I close my position. I might close it now. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to see if we go to the 27 area, 26 area to see if I close it. We have the magnet at 25. So we're overextended that magnet for by $6.
And the goal is.
And the other one is at 40. I don't like to average down on these kind of contracts. That's not my ideal scenario because it's out of the money. Look at the theta. The theta is $7, so that's pretty bad. Well, it's not pretty bad. It's just common on these kind of scenarios. I don't like to average down on that. We have the 720s. We're $11. Now we're moving. We're at 32. Magnet is at 25. We're on a negative gag still. Gamma flip is about. Gamma flip keeps moving to the upside, but I don't like the same thing is happening here. Now we have a red bar above us again.
Y por eso, por el medio. The companies are starting to, like, look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA doesn't even know what it wants to do. MU is fading again. It's a moment. MU move a lot in market.
I should have bought that contract.
We're fading out again. If he hits a mean reversion now, that would be so good. They're buying the 730.
We're at 16 again. Hold on, because we can test the magnet here. But the magnet can act as a support and as a bounce level. We're at 27.
The 15 minutes is gonna close 5 minutes, but if it closes red. Se da 75 pesos como una barra.
Not gonna do that.
We gotta see if we can break it. We actually have like more space to the downside than to the upside kind of. ¿Cuánto estaba? Como 300 pesos.
Yeah, like 350.
How much was the contract?
1950.
Oh, you're chilling. No está tan carito, pero no está tan. 9 pesos el contrato, ¿verdad?
Well, because I'm in 1 DTE. I haven't put my open position here.
Se lo que ya sí tiene un fade para abajo. No. Pero me gusta que está escribiendo todo lo que pasa. Así que,
I'm trying to see if I can buy this contract with 735. And I think we're gonna test that magnet. I think we're
probably
gonna.
reacting the same solitary. Hay que darle como un poquito para
I'm gonna trade one. I have two positions now.
tratar de usar el punto.
I have two positions now, but this one's gonna be in the red. I'm already in the red 80 bucks. $130 in the red. But I'm gonna hold it for a couple more minutes. So I think that's gonna be the live today. I will tell you my exit positions on the Discord. Let's see what happens because we are on a really weird zone. We're on a really weird zone. Well, at 33.63, I bought. I should have waited. I should have waited. I literally bought the bottom there. The bottom of that 1 minute candle. But no worries. We're on a 1DT. The account still holds that. We're above the value of the account. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna tell you on the Discord. If you're not on the Discord, in the description is the link. See you guys there. Have a nice day. Don't overtrade. Don't do 0DTs. Use me as an experiment on what's gonna happen. So see you guys there on the Discord. Have a nice day.